My name is Papa Jah. I am the founder and executive director of the African Leadership Group. A little bit of background about the African Leadership Group. It's a non-profit organization that's been around for 19 years. It's just aging myself here. And the vision is to facilitate the professional integration of the African diaspora through social, economic, and educational impact. And I know anybody here that is an immigrant or maybe take the opportunity to go live in another country can relate. Usually when you go to a new place, if you don't speak the language, if you don't know the resources, usually what happens is you start all over, correct? That was my case when I came here in 1998 with education, study law back home. So I had to start all over. And my first job, I was working at Tattered Cover Bookstore, stocking books, making $5.25. But I'm so grateful that I took that opportunity because it did allow me to be in an environment where I was surrounded by books and by professionals. So I think that's the best decision that I ever made in my life, to later spend 18 years in banking and study the organization. But I want to spend a little bit of more time this evening to tell you a little bit more about the organization Africa Impact and what we are here to accomplish this evening. When you go to a new place, you pretty much need everything, right? You need somebody that pick you from the airport. You need somebody that provides housing, somebody that show you where to take the bus. You name it. You need everything. That's why we have the three pillars: social, economic, and educational impact. So we pride ourselves being an organization that's meeting the community where they're at. So it doesn't matter if you need housing, the African Leadership Group is there for you. If you need English classes, we are there for you. If you need to find out the best school for your children, we are there for you. The African Leadership Group has 15 initiatives, from home ownership and financial literacy, from tutoring, youth empowerment, women empowerment, health and wellness, you name it. Sometimes I lose track. Now, I can tell you that I don't do all those work by myself. I have amazing people that are helping me and supporting me to do the work. And starting with those people is my family, my lovely wife, and my children that make it happen to do the work. So grateful to them. And my kids will always tell me, when you make those remarks, you just mention mom and you just call us kids. So allow me just to name them one by one. So I have my oldest daughter, Miriam Diaz, that's sitting right here. Just finished her first year at Howard University, pursuing a degree in political science. Dad is very proud of you. Fama, she's the middle child. I say, I'm the middle child. So Fama is aspired to become a doctor. She's going to last year in high school. And where is Matu? And yes, Matu is right there. So the youngest one also, so just starting 6th grade. And we know everything starts home. And I'm grateful for all the support that I get home to do this work. Now, one of the committees we have at the African Leadership Group is the Business Economic Opportunity Committee. Now, I always tell people, every single African is entrepreneur. Either you know it or you don't, you are doing some type of business. And this committee, their main job is to get the community to get the resources they need, from how do I register my business with the Secretary of State? How do I get my tax ID? How do I put together a business plan? How do I get a cash flow? How do I get a contract? How can I be bankable? This is what this group of people are doing, and they are doing an amazing job. One of them is organizing the Africa Impact Business Summit every year. Now, this year, every year when we celebrate Africa Impact, we have a theme that the community take the time to pick that theme. So this year, the main theme of Africa Impact is Motherland, the lineage and legacy of Africa's children. Motherland, the lineage and legacy of Africa's children. Why Motherland? We wanted to celebrate where everything started, which is home and which is our mother. That's why that word motherland is very, very important. But at the same time, our children, the lineage where everything that was built from, and the legacy of our children, so we can have a bright future. So we have to keep in mind our children in everything that we do. And that's one thing that the African Leadership Group is doing. And now, when we have the main theme, also the business committee, they build up the theme from that. And the theme of the business summit tonight is rooted in resilience, the future of business in our community. Rooted in resilience, the future of business in our community. And the business committee people, they feel like this year, I mean, the last couple of years have been very hard for businesses, right? It's been very, very challenging. But how do we get to be rooted in resilience and build the future of business in our community? That's what you will hear from our amazing panelists that we have tonight. Now, as far as Africa Impact goes, we are so proud that when we started Africa Impact 10 years ago, it was just a couple of hours in the afternoon. And today it lasts the entire month of August, to the point the governor of Colorado has issued a proclamation to make the month of August the African Immigrant Month in Colorado. So something we are very, very proud of. Solomon Mwanga is, I teased him for many years and called him lost and found, because he was an African that I didn't know, and I met him at the bank. I said, "You must be lost and found." So I rolled him to get him to serve on the ALG board and chairing the business committee. And since then, he's been found. He's been around. So please help me give a warm welcome to Solomon Mwanga, that's going to share a few words about the business committee. Thank you so much.
That's a hard act to follow, but thanks, Papa. My name is Solomon Mwanga, and you know, this, it was easy. Yeah, Papa is right. I think he thought he knows every single African in Denver, and he was shocked that he had never met me, and I've been in Denver for 35 years. I went here to go to college and grad school, so he reeled me in. So 10 years ago, I did join the African Leadership Group. First, I served on the board, and then he said, "I have a very specific task for you. I would like you to lead the Business Economic Opportunities Committee because you're a business and commercial banker." And I said, "Sure." I did that for 3-4 years. In 2023, I actually stepped back to take care of some stuff. End of 2023, so I didn't really do anything in 2024. Then he reeled me back again this year. So my entire job here today is tell you a little bit about LG's Business and Economic Opportunity, which we fondly call BEO, you know, and I would like to just tell you why it was formed and the mission we're tasked with. There are 4 main points. We're here to empower ALG members and our community to, 1, identify business and economic opportunities, which is entrepreneurship. 2, win markets, grow those businesses. 3, give them access to meaningful and well-paying jobs. And then last but not least, thrive as business owners. That's our mission statement. The ultimate goal is to advance economic prosperity for our community and the state of Colorado, because we pay taxes, we contribute, we buy. So this work, like I said, is done by a committee, and I would like to take the opportunity to really acknowledge these individuals who are, you know, I mean, there should be a slide up there of their faces if somebody can turn that on. But in no uncertain order, Clay Warner, please just stand up, raise your hand so people can see you. The illustrious and, you know, native son of Colorado, Justin Gilmore, right there. Powerful attorney, Tayo Okwande. Does a lot of work in the legal community too. And then Lee Toko, who's a banker. I haven't seen Lee here yet. Yeah, so another banker. And then Dr. Jamal Bowen, an educator. And then this year we added, you know, we felt like we're getting older. We added 2 younger people to bring new blood. One of my mentees that I'm very proud of, that approached me a couple years ago in a similar event like this. She's now an aspiring banker, Aida Tijani. And then last but not least, Jessica Jones Garcia, who recently just moved in state, and I think she lives in Grand Junction, so I haven't seen her yet. Is she here yet? So thank you so much for your work. And finally, I would just really be amiss without saying that, yeah, we're the committee, we're just the funnel to bring the ideas, but really, most of the hard work is done behind the scenes by Papa Dia and this small but mighty team. I seen Usman running around. He doesn't stop. Usman and Brianna, I just want to say thank you. You do a lot of work. And then there's also really a couple people, Jason Golden, who's really makes sure everything runs smoothly. And then Tiffany this year, because everybody said this feels different. Tiffany, where you are, it's been amazing. Yeah, thank you, Tiffany. So last thing I want to do is my entire job here is to introduce our MC for the event occasion. So without much further ado, Clay Warner.
All right, thank you, Solomon. I appreciate that. I just want to say thank you to Papa. Where are you at? Papa and Stu. Thank you so much for who you are and what you guys do. I will just say very quickly that African Leadership Group changed my life personally, and I don't take that lightly. As a matter of fact, if you have not had the opportunity to take the Leadership Africa class, enroll today. Tell your neighbor, say enroll today, because it is just that life-changing. And so what an honor it is to be here with you. These great people have done an exceptional job at bringing and bridging communities and gaps. So I'm so excited. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started. I do want to leave you with one quote. Les Brown, one of my mentors, one of my personal mentors, favorite people, says, too many of us are not living out our dreams because we are living out our fears. And so what we're gonna do is bring up a young lady who knows how to live out her dreams and who will be able to tell you how to get beyond your fears. Let me introduce our keynote. Her name is Mawa McQueen, and she has done incredible things. She has a restaurant up in Aspen. If you have not been to it, you'll have to get out there and take a 2 or 3 day staycation and go and visit. As a matter of fact, in the books, I believe she has one of her books back there in the back. She's an author. The name of her book is called Unstoppable Ambition. I want to hear from somebody who wrote a book called Unstoppable Ambition. Do you? And she's even got some of her goodies back there. So she's got her grain-free Nola. She's got some treats back there. So if you have not visited the table, it's right in the back. Make sure you do. With no further ado, Miss McQueen, come on up here and talk to us. Yes. Yes.
I am so nervous. You have no idea. This is not my comfort zone. I'm usually behind the stove, right? So since Papa forced me to come here today, because every year I say no, but I'm gonna do my best. Okay? So, bonsoir everybody. I hope you are doing well. I have 15 minutes, so I'm gonna just dive in, okay? I just want to say that it's an honor to be here with you today because I couldn't dream of a better audience today. And of course, I have my cheat sheet here, and I have this in case, one of them fail. Because like I said before, so remember that. When I make a mistake or I say something that you don't understand, ask me later because I only know how to cook. So, let me speak to the part of you that is tired. The part that keeps showing up. The part that keeps trying and failing and rising. Wondering, is that worth it? Is everything that I'm doing worth it? Because sometimes, we can be tired of the grind. Well, I've been there. I'm the proof that, yes, you can be tired, super tired. I'm standing here today, not because it was easy, but because it was hard. I mean, it's the hardest thing. And everybody keep asking, if you had to do that again, would you? I say, I'll think about it. Just saying, I'm here because resilience is my superpower. But grit, it's my secret weapon, okay? Because we all know that the resilient alone, it's not enough. Just to tell you a quick story, and I'm gonna cruise through it. So I was born in West Africa, Ivory Coast, exactly. And then at 12, I went to Paris, but not the Paris that you're accustomed to, the Eiffel Tower, it's so romantic. Actually, I was living in the ghetto, the tough part of Paris. And I'm the eldest of 20 brothers and sisters that I helped raise before starting my business. We didn't have much, but I had a dream. And my dream was to come to America for some reason, because I watched too much TV. Because that's the only place I saw some black people, people who like me, successful. And I'm like, I'm going there because I couldn't see myself on French TV. We didn't exist. If we exist, we were the clown. So I'm like, no, the Cosby Show did it for me. I wanted to be Claire Huxtable, trust me. But, I wouldn't marry Bill, though. I'm just saying today. Okay. So at 28, I left everything behind and went to America, of course. No friend, no money, no safety net, just a belief and hunger. I was thirsty, guys, I'm telling you. I didn't land in New York nor LA. Guess where I landed? The beautiful Aspen, Colorado. Again, I saw it on TV. Aspen, Colorado, if you don't know, it's one of the most luxurious, okay, beautiful, exclusive place on Earth, on the planet, literally. Aspen is where actually all the billionaires casually work their dog. You can say, hi, Bill Gates. Like it's like nothing. So when you're in Aspen, you have more chance to get funded by anybody if you have a great idea. And 99.9% of the case, you're going to find an investor. But only if you look apart. And look at me. What do you think? Do I look apart? Okay, now I do. But back then, no, I didn't. I had no degree, no investor, and no leverage. No one. I didn't fit in Aspen Mall. No one handed me a seat at the table. And when I say no one, I'm not kidding. It's cold down there. Okay? But you know what? I didn't need them to invite me. I just built my own table. I'm like, you don't want me? Not only I built my table and the chairs, guess what I did even more that I'm excited about? I wrote the damn menu too. So, let's talk about the difference between resilience and grit. Resilience is bending without breaking, okay? And resilience is surviving the storm. But grit is what makes you work back into the storm with purpose. When you're tired, when you don't want to. Because sometimes it's, like I say, resilience is not enough. You need to adapt, portion grit. Resilience kept me standing. But grit made me unstoppable, like my book. I opened my first restaurant in Aspen, not in the tourist part, okay, because I couldn't afford it, but in a business center by the airport. Today we'll call it is the ghetto, but very expensive ghetto, I'm telling you, okay? people actually from Aspen, they will not go past the roundabout. There's a roundabout, like, that separate the mega rich from normal people. And that normal people, I'm talking about millionaire. First of all, I have a degree. I mean, in culinary, of course. Um, Things that they didn't know about me was that I went to culinary school in Paris, and I spoke French, okay? And I was trained by the best. I know nutrition. I understand flavor. Even more than that, I had a vision, and I knew my purpose. So I worked 2 jobs for years, my husband and I, 2 to 3 jobs to keep my expensive hobby, that is my restaurant. I cleaned the building that I was cooking at, the whole building. Okay, you'll see me like, she's the maid, and then she cook, and I did everything. Listen, whatever it took to make it and to make money, because I didn't want to give up. Anyway, what I did wasn't glamour, but that's called grit. Okay, because I had a purpose. Then the killer came, COVID. I mean, we hate COVID. It almost literally took me out, okay? My restaurant back in the day had only 20 seats. With social distancing, imagine the nightmare. And, I'm like, oh, yes, it's, everybody sit together usually. And this time they can't. I only had one big table. And I was horrified. I'm like, this is it. I'm not going to make it. I didn't qualify for PPP. I was literally drowning. Okay? I didn't know where to turn. And bear in mind, I didn't know anybody. No friend, nobody. It was just me, my husband, and my brother. And then someone came to Aspen. They were interviewing people. And they're like, oh, let's interview Marwa. I was so angry. And I'm like, I don't want an interview. You're going to interview me for what? Nobody's helping me here. And she was so struck by it. She called someone, who called me, say, oh, you may want to talk to someone that I know. And I'm like, who's that? Anybody want to take a guess? Papa. So they called me and they're like, oh, you may want to talk to Papa. And I was like, who's that? Bear in mind, I live in Aspen. I haven't seen a lot of black people, okay? I didn't even know that this community existed, okay? So I called him, and I'm like, I can't do this. And he's like, where are you? In Aspen? He was as shocked as I am. Like, literally. Huh? He was like, Aspen? You're African? And you live in Aspen? African American, you'll understand. But like, you're African, and your name is Marwa? Because, we're related, in case you didn't know. So that one phone call changed my life. Because of that one phone call, I'm here today. Okay? So because of that one phone call, it got me in touch with Salomon, my banker. Okay? And that was the first time someone actually believed in me. This man, Salomon, fought for me, like ever. He never gave up. He did everything that he could. Literally, I had bad credit, a lot of credit. I mean, I used everything. But this man here, incredible. I can't thank him enough, both of them. And I'm not saying that because they pay me, okay? So, this single moment of support gave me the breath that I needed to keep going. I'm almost done, okay? The best is yet to come. Fast forward today, I'm a James Beard nominated chef. I'm a publisher of 2 books. You probably see me on Today Show several times with Jenna. Michelin Guide recognized restaurant in the ghetto, 2 years in a row. And I have three restaurants, and I'm opening two more in Boulder this year, one in October and one in December. I also created a snack, Grand Frinola, that everybody love, and it's the most expensive snack you will ever eat. Eat like a gold, okay? Because that little bag that you see, I'm gonna tell you, is $20. Okay, and then, do you guys remember the building that I was cleaning? I bought the fucking building. Thank you to Salomon. And the land, thank you. And the land. So, but don't get it twisted, all this wasn't luck. I had a vision. I kept going. I didn't stop, okay? Because I refused to stop. Let me tell you what I know for sure. No one is coming to save you, okay? The answer is you. You need to keep going. Success takes longer than you think. Because today, with those young people, we're like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to post 2 pictures. That's not true. It takes 10 years. Okay? Don't build to impress. Build to last. Okay? You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be willing. You don't need to have a clear path. Everybody want to figure everything out now. You don't need to. Okay? Just keep going. Take one step, and you'll find a way. Because the most powerful version of you is not the one who ever fell. It's the one who refused to stay down. I am Marwa McQueen. I'm not an exception. I am one of many examples, and so are you.
Absolutely beautiful. And do you see all these people standing for you? Because she doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk. How many of you know that? Because that's what it takes. Resilience is my superpower, but my secret is grit. That's a t-shirt, y'all. I might make that t-shirt. I'll give you credit, though. I'm going to put your name on it, okay? Have a seat. We're going to call our other panelists up. So we're getting ready to start the panelist part of our program. And I'm going to call the panelists up. Kim Floyd, please join us. Wendy, please join us on stage. And you guys will need to turn on your mics there. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm actually going to start with some leading questions. So, Miss Wendy, I will give you the opportunity to start us off. So, question for you, Miss Wendy. You've helped shape startup ecosystems and advised private and public businesses. Assuming a person has a good business idea, willing to work hard, and gets the startup resources they need, what would you suggest? What are the things that the startup business could do, should be careful about in their years 1 and 2?
First of all, raise hands if you have a business or you're building a business, just so I can get a sense of, okay, cool. I think a bunch of people. I think it's relevant, right? So I think what comes to mind first is, are you surrounded with people that can help? A community, a group, a mentor, a coach. To me, that's the most important thing. Right? And I'm looking over here at Marwa to see if she agrees with that. I built a bunch of businesses. I failed a lot. But the times I did well is when I was able to connect to people way smarter than me that had succeeded and failed and that wanted to help. I call that give first. Not give to get, but just give first to help. So I think that's number one. The second thing I would say is that you have to always orient your products and services to a customer, right? You can't just build to build. And this gets confusing to people because they're smart and they want to build something fancy and it has a lot of features, or it's complex business of any sort. So orient your capabilities towards an ideal customer. You'll always be better off if you do, always. And I see my sign already. I'm watching. The third is you need to look early for capital. It could be non-dilutive capital, it could be equity, it could be an angel, your mama, wherever you can get it to get started. But you have to think about the continuum of capital. It's not one time, it's forever. And it's not always debt. It can be non-dilutive capital and a grant of something like that. So those would be my 3 things in the early stages.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Ken, you've been with the utility companies for over 30 years, and now you're in investment in operations as part of your job. And so part of your job is identifying opportunities and managing risk. I'm wondering if you have advice or insights about how to develop the right mindset to balance things.
Thank you, Calais. So my name is Ken Floyd. I have spent a lot of time working in the power and utility space. Started my career before I got out of undergraduate school out in California at the equivalent of Xcel Energy. Fast forward some 20 plus years later, I started off actually as a summer help digging holes. Some 20 plus years later, I got recruited to come to Colorado by Xcel Energy as their Senior Vice President of Marketing and Customer Service. Mind you, I started off digging holes. And as I migrated through these various levels of leadership, I found myself real fast being the only person in the room that looked like me. Not only was the utility, and still is today, the utility executive suite predominantly male, but for many, many, many years, it was nothing but white male. And you have to decide how you want to use something like that. I use it as a fuel. I use it as a fuel to fuel my core, the inner me about what is it that I want to do? What do these guys have? Going back to what Mawa was saying. Each one of us have to really dig deep down inside of us and decide what it is we want. And don't be afraid to go after it. I've never done anything in 3 to 5 minutes. I see I already got the 1 minute sign up there. You got to be willing to dig deep and go after it. Understand what your vision is, and once you understand what that vision is, go after it. I'll just give you a caveat though. There's a thin line. You have to be willing to pivot. There's a thin line between going after something that's, look, Wayne Gretzky had a phrase. Don't skate to where the puck is, skate to where the puck will be. You got to remember, if you see you're going down this path, and this is where the puck is, you probably need to think about where's the puck going. So my counsel, feedback to anyone in this room, anything about business, whether it's being on the executive side, whether it's entrepreneur side, you got to make sure you have a vision, you have the determination, no different than what you heard from Mawa. The story is the same. Industry's different, but the story is the same. You got to be tenacious.
So, Ms. Mawa, what an inspiring story. Really was beautiful. I have a question for you. So, what inner qualities or community support systems have you had to rely on when it comes to scaling the ventures that you have, the successful ventures that you have created?
I think that's a loaded question. There's 2 questions in one. Okay, first of all, I think people need to have discipline. Discipline is a big deal. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs just go, go, go. They don't have discipline. And I think if you don't have discipline, don't even start. Okay? You can be smart, you can be all you want. You need to be disciplined. And then, and have grit, of course, and have certainty. Certainty in what? Not in a way how you're going to get there, but that you're going to get there. Okay? Discipline and certainty that I am going to rise no matter what. Now I can, change my way how to get there, okay? But I'm going to get there and be flexible in between. When it comes to community, I just told you my story. For 7 years, I didn't know I had a community. When I got in touch with my community, guess what happened? I became a different person. I went from broke to millionaire. Great. Okay? But just because I didn't even know they were there. I didn't know I had a support system. Now, don't worry. I'm like, Papa, I need this. Okay? I have no shame. You need a community. Sometimes we are too proud. You need your community. Okay? Because that helps you. Even in Aspen, I need them. Because they allowed me to expand also. No one is an island. You might think that, but no.
I love that. Thank you so much for that. Speaking of no one is an island, there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
That's right.
And that's what she's talking about. So thank you so much for that. This thing is success. And so with that, thank you again. Give them a big round of applause for me. You all can exit the stage. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. They have poured out into you things that you would not hear in a book or on an audio or in a video. They've given you that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This was absolutely beautiful. So next, I'm going to call Papa back up. Where are you, Papa?
Look, Wendy, Mawar, and Ken, thank you. We cannot thank. Wendy, when you talk about giving back to your community, this is your third or your fourth panel with Africa Impact Business Summit. And I know I serve on Energize Colorado. I am well aware of all the amount of money you have given to the community, and we are so grateful for everything that you've done. Thank you so much. Mao, you are just beautiful, and you are a testimony. Every single African immigrant can relate to your story. Just know, we are so proud of you. You are an inspiration to all of us. Like you said to all of us, keep going yourself, because we are looking for you to the top, and all of us going to try to follow through. So thank you so much for everything you do. I know, Ken, I know wherever you are, but I know you're catching a flight tomorrow. Once you walk in through the door, you are part of the family. That's it. Now you're stuck with us. Thank you so much for blessing us with the wisdom. Thank you. Thank you. But this is what I want to end with. And Claire, you did such an amazing job. And just for you to know, all the questions that Claire was asking came from the audience, but it was seamless, because there are people that are behind the scene that are doing this work. You guys were able to scan your QR code and send your question. And Jason, the mastermind behind it, he will kill me, but let's give that man a round of applause. So thank you so much for this technology. Now, and Solomon mentioned it. I really want to thank and recognize this young man, Usman. Where are you? Usman Ba. We have a young rising Uzi. Please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. Uzi, please stand up. Please stand up. This is a young rising leader in our community, helping me doing all this amazing work. Just know we are extremely grateful for everything you do, especially with the youth. Brianna, thank you so much for all the work. Tiffany and your team, thank you so much. So we want to give you some time to take pictures, but this is what I will leave you with the community. We have powerful people in this room. You got to make sure you don't leave this place without knowing 5 people you did not know before. If you didn't do that, just realize that you wasted 2 hours of your time. So you have 15 minutes to do it, right? So connect and follow through. We have powerful people in this room, and this is the main reason that we put together. And we have our photographer over there that standing by, and James, thank you for everything you do year in and year out. We are so grateful. We look forward to celebrating Africa Impact Month recognition and proclamation from the governor. Have a wonderful night, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.